that the Chief Justice, Mogoeng Mogoeng, in fact, should be, his term of office expires around October, but effectively he's not working already now. So let's find out why, but very importantly, let's try and make sense of what that really means. Is there some other things we need to be looking at? So I've roped in Buyani Zwane with me, amongst other things. He is the head of Breakthrough Development, an inspiring go-to person, motivational person, a motivational leader, I would think, or trainer of leaders around the country. Buyani, great chatting to you, and thanks for joining me.
Salam, brother. Good
Yeah,
to meet
salam
you.
indeed. Absolutely. Good talking to you, man. So you've got this responsibility of, in 5 minutes, telling us, helping us understand Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng is going on this early leave before retirement. What do you make of it?
Well, I think there's a whole variety of issues that find themselves in this particular situation. One, there have been a couple of pronouncements which placed the Chief Justice at crosshairs with many political organizations, but also many in society, really around the support for Israel. That became problematic. And I think also when more was brought through relating to the situation of getting the former president, brought to law, so that there is a charge that is placed upon him. I think that created in itself a bit of a storm that meant that the Chief Justice needed to be able to get back into the role of neutrality, get back into the role of being consistent in application and not be seen to be biased in any way. And of course, being the leader of the Constitution, which we put in place and we promulgated way back in December of '96 and got it to be effective from the February of '97, there's much that has been going on in there that looks into equality, it looks into dignity, all people being treated with due respect and regard. We said in it that we want to be a state that is really governed by law and not so much by our respective.
So, Simon, here's the point. I mean, we already know the Chief Justice has pronounced on his partisan stance for Israel, which is very offside in terms of South Africa's own position, and that's compromised him, besides other things. Right now, we also know that he is due to actually retire in October, and he's due the long leave. So it's not like it's not due. But do you get a sense that he's taking off the leave when he could have taken the leave in October anyway, right? Suggests that he wants to walk away because he does run the risk, if he works now, of actually being removed from office, because that's the potential position, since he hasn't quite apologized for his position regarding Israel.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of speculation that we can be putting forward here. But when you think about it from a leadership perspective, it is always necessary to be able to hold yourself accountable for any pronouncements that you make. And especially when you are occupying a role that is of national and international significance. And of course, when we've said to ourselves that we're wanting to be governed in ways that are ensuring that everybody feels that we are taking care of them, looking after their requirements in a manner that says, regardless of status, your dignity is going to be honored. That also seems to be the matter that has come through in this situation.
So having said that, and I know there's speculation, do you think he's just wanting to move into oblivion very, very quickly? Because if he's on leave now, it effectively means we will not hear from him again, right, as the Chief Justice.
We may not hear from him, but of course he's taken leave. He has not quit the role. So effectively, his senior, who happens to be the president, can still call on him. I mean, in a corporate environment, if you're on leave and there's an emergency that requires you to be back, you can be called back in. So the same would apply in this situation. As the Chief Justice, there is an acting Chief Justice, but he can be called in for a specific appearance to be able to address issues that require his attention.
Okay. Just lastly, as someone who understands leadership and the role of leaders, and you spoke about pronouncements already, what's your overall take on the Chief Justice Mogoeng Mogoeng's overall leadership in terms of the guardian of the Constitution in our country?
I think we all find ourselves making some mistakes, and acknowledging that I have erred in being partisan in this manner would have been the right thing to be able to do from any leader. And of course, that's why even in the courts, people get to be able to present mitigation when it turns out to be that what they did not really align with their value system, did not align with who they truly are and their track record, as it were. So there would have been an opportunity to be able to say, listen, that may very well have been taken off context, and I may have spoken at the time I did because of the issues that were at play. Because keep in mind also that the Chief Justice has been given the responsibility of leading the prayer movement for the continent. And of course, that took him over into a particular stance. And unfortunately, one of the stories that comes through when you say yours is in support of Israel as a state, it changes that you begin to be somebody who has chosen a side. And when the responsibility is to be as non-partisan as possible, your judgment gets to be seen as clouded, and you do not want that to be the case.
And that's really not what I expected, certainly from the Chief Justice. Buyani, thanks for your time. I mean, appreciate you giving your input. Certainly got me thinking, and most appreciated.
Thank you very much, Ashraf. Have a great show. Thank you.
Thank you, Buyani Zwane. Breakthrough leadership is what he lectures in, and breakthrough for you. Perhaps you've learned something coming out of that. We're going to chat to Imran Chinara. He's in Lebanon. We'll do it next.